Good day. Today we'll go over how to import a CentOS VM into VirtualBox. This is brought to you by EmersusTech. First, you'll need to download Winrar. You can get this at https://www.rarlab.com/download.htm. This is a free to use or free trial version that you'll be free to use for a while, and it helps you unzip the. It's better than unzip in a lot of ways because it can unzip 7-zip. First, you'll need to when you click on the link right here, WinRAR 64-bit 5.90, and the version will change in the future. It'll pop up with this. Click on Save File. It'll go to your Downloads directory. And next you'll need to get the CentOS VDI. And you'll need to go to https www.osboxes.org/CentOS. And the version will change in the future. But you'll need to get the 64-bit VDI. Click on Download. Now you go to Downloads on your workstation or your home computer, and you'll see the two right here, WinRAR executable, and also the 7-zip. First, you'll need to unzip you'll need to double-click on the executable, install WinRAR, and then once that's done, you'll need to refer to the earlier video I had where we created a folder on the local drive called My VMs. And if you haven't done so yet, that's the thing you need to do right now, is create a folder called My VMs onto the C drive. Copy this into there, and then unzip it from the folder. Next, you'll need to open Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager. It's an icon on your desktop. You click on New, and this box will pop up, and you have different things you need to enter. And one of the things you need to enter is if you're doing testing, it's one thing, and later after you do one or two test VMs, you can name it something real, but usually I name it something like CentOS 1. And this is the C My VMs folder that I just mentioned. You'll need to do type on the pull down menu, Linux, and then Red Hat 64-bit will become available. Click on Next. Next, you'll have the RAM that needs to be allocated. Generally, for a test VM, you'll want to do the default, but you can increase it, but be careful. Don't increase it too much, because it'll take away from your regular OS. This screen right here, you have to be careful on this one screen, because you need to click on Use an existing virtual hard disk file. This is default, but you need to click on this. Then you'll need to go over here to the Browse button. Watch. See? When you click on this, the Browse button will go here, and you choose the virtual hard disk file. Then you go to, remember the My VMs folder that you unzipped earlier. Go to the folder, find the VDI extension, and this is the actual thing you'll need to import. Select this. It'll appear here. Click Open. And then this portion right here, the virtual size right here is 500 gig. That's not actually correct. The actual size is 4.62. Don't let it throw you. Select this, hit Choose. And now this is the way it should appear right here. If it doesn't do that, then I would back up and see what else what you've done wrong, but it should be that way. Click on Create. Now this is a screen you want to see. It's basically it means that it's imported. It does take I would give it a minute or so, but it seems to happen in a few seconds. So the actual power off VM is right here in your Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager. Next thing you want to do is click on Start. Click on that. Now we see the CentOS booting up. You want to see OK, OK, OK. That's good. That means your daemons are starting and services are starting correctly. If you see anything red, you need to investigate it. Write it down and investigate it later, but it shouldn't be a problem with a pre-installed image. Not at first, at least. If there is, you might have a bad image or a bad download. Next, we're going to update the kernel. We need to log in. The password for default password for OS boxes is osboxes.org. There are times when the mouse will act strangely when you first begin this. But eventually. I've noticed that when you're using the mouse for the first time and you're setting it up for the first time, the best thing to do is to use the actual keyboard and use the enter key a couple times. It should default to your correct language. We were actually going to correct the problems with the mouse in a little bit. Click on Next. Hit OK. And just basically hit the enter key about 5 times. Okay. whenever it prompts you to download. Is this okay? Click yes or Y both times. Hit enter. The problem I ran into was, and still is a problem, there's a known bug in VirtualBox with the mouse pointer integration, and we'll try to fix that in a few minutes. But for right now, what I had to do was, outside of a reboot, I basically went into a different terminal. So I hit Control Alt F2, and it should bring you to a login prompt. You type root as the login account that you want to use, which is a good idea right at the moment. And then osboxes.org is the actual password for that. We'll change that in a little while, but for right now, that's what we'll use. Now I'm going through a yum update for the kernel, and then we'll reboot. And after that, later on, we'll do a full update. But right now, we're working on the most important portions, and the kernel is the most important. So I'll pause the video at the moment, and later come back after a reboot. Sorry, that command didn't work. So we're going to go to the next one. Basically, we're going to update the GCC kernel-devel kernel-headers dkms make bzip2 and Perl. Actually install them, not update them. But it'll have the latest version though. You can see this on the right portion over here. Right there. This particular command did not work. It's probably out of date. That's okay. We'll pick up what we can when we can. Click on yes. Or not click on yes. Enter Y. Enter. While this is updating, I'm going to pause it for a while and get back to you. So now that completed. Now we'll go to this portion right here, mount the guest editions CD by clicking on devices, insert guest edition. Go right here, click there. I've already done that actually. So We're following what we see over here. So I will pause it while this is running. So after a reboot, the mouse problems went away because of the update. So now after logging in as a regular user, osboxes.org and the password osboxes.org, we'll open a terminal. Next, we'll change the password for the root account. Please make it complicated. Okay, so first you'll need to go su space dash and type in osboxes.org, and then we'll change the password. Make it complicated, please. Okay, so make sure you remember your password, the root account. Okay, so next we'll do a yum update. And I will pause it while this runs, and there'll be a reboot afterwards, which is just the reboot command. And we'll revisit this. So this portion you'll want to say yes. So enter Y, enter. It'll download the packages. So the reason why we went to Control-Alt F2 was to get into a terminal while we were having problems with the mouse. And once we updated the drivers, and not the actual drivers, the packages I should say, then everything seemed to work real well. So now the yum update has happened. It's already been 900 packages updated or installed, mostly updated. So now we're going to take care of the OS Boxes account. So we're going to change that, the default. So it's not good to run around with an account that everyone knows. I'll change it to a password. It should be PASSWD space OS boxes. So change it to something that you'll remember. Let's see, click, all right. Okay, so reboot. and this way we can test out the new user account. Worst case scenario, if the user account doesn't work correctly, then we can always go back into the alternate TTY and Control Alt F2 and change it from root. But that shouldn't be needed. Hit enter, or just wait. So if you ever see while the Yum update is working, if it'll do the default screensaver, and basically the way to get into that is click once or twice into the Oracle VM VirtualBox window, and then hit enter twice. Sometimes once will work, but usually it's twice. And then you'll be able to type in your password. One of the wonderful things about Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager is you can run Linux, Windows, Solaris, whatever you want to run, in different varieties, Ubuntu, whatever you want. I just happen to like CentOS myself. So, okay, we'll try out that new password. I can tell it took it. Okay, that's good. So you definitely don't want to run around the internet with a password that everyone knows. That's bad. Very bad. Okay, that should be the end of the video. If you like what you see, hit subscribe and hit the like button, and I'll see you in another video. Hope you liked what you saw. Thank you. This is EmersusTech.